A lot of people think high ground retakes are not worth learning because you're not going to find yourself using them too often in game. But I'm going to be honest, one of the biggest things that helped me improve my mechanics was learning high ground retakes. Sometimes I would spend 30 minutes learning one build move that I would never actually use in game, but learning that move helped me improve my mechanics, specifically my movement, building, and editing. But what I'm here to do today is I'm going to be looking at some of my actual clips from 1v1s, find the build moves that I actually use in game, and then break them down from beginner to pro. Timestamps are down below so you can skip around and find where you left off, but you may be wondering what's the best place to practice these retakes. First off, in the Jivan's Practice Map code down below, there's a room called Free Build with Bots, so you can practice doing these retakes on bots that are all around you in the sky. That's going to be the best place to get these retakes down and practice them with no pressure. But once you get it down in there, you can hop into the all-in-one 1v1 map, which is also linked down below. That's the map where I got all the clips you're going to see in this video. In that map, there's zone wars, box fights, build fights, and realistic fights. And you can shuffle between all these modes so you can get an all-around practice. But with that being said, let's hop into the first fight of the day. The first move I want you to notice in this fight is this one right here, where I jump out the side with a cone above me. I love this move. It blocks your angles and gets you up layers super quickly, but beware because it's not as easy as it seems. The second thing I do in this fight is this really sharp double edit play. Notice how I look straight down as soon as I confirm that double edit, which helps me get the wall before the opponent places it. I'm going to show you how to practice both these moves. The first move here, the way you can practice it is just place ramps and a wall above you, and then practice jumping out the side. You want to drag walls out the side and then land on a ramp with the cone above you. The biggest thing you got to watch out for while doing this move is walling yourself off while jumping out to the side. The way you can avoid that is get your momentum moving out the side before you place the walls. If you place the wall too early and turn too early, you might block yourself off. If you want to get it down at a higher level, you can practice doing it through a double edit. So you'll double edit through and then place that wall and then jump out the side with the walls, ramp, and cone. Now, if you want to get sharper at your double edit down wall claims like I had in that clip, literally just practice this. Build way up to height, and then while you're double editing down, immediately look straight downwards in the direction you're trying to claim a wall after double editing through. Just practice going in circles, double editing down like I'm doing here, and you'll get better at it. In the second fight of the day, I do one of the most important moves that everybody should master, a high wall side jump. But I'm going to teach you some stuff about high walls that maybe you didn't know before. If you don't know what a high wall is, it's just when you look straight up in the sky to build walls way above you. There's lots of ways to do this. You can do it while you're simply ramping and then just place high walls in front of you while ramping up, and that'll block upper angles in front of you. But one of the most common ways to do it is while side jumping. The simple example is when someone's straight above you 2 layers, you can place high walls above you just like this and then build up to that wall and piece control through it, get the opponent boxed. But what's important is being able to do high walls in different directions. So if an opponent is above and behind you, doing high walls like this to block that back angle as well. Or if they're in front of you, doing it like this to block that front angle. In this fight, I did the high wall and then placed a ramp over my head and continued upwards. I didn't do the high wall to get piece control on the opponent, I did it to throw him off and block the angle. In a build fight, it's just important to always be blocking your angles, and high walls are a good way to do that. In the third fight of the day, we got a little collage of retakes, some of the most important ones in the game. It starts out with what I call the sway retake, because face sway is the one that I learned it from, where you swing walls above you with ramps on top. It's one of the most protective retakes in the game. I do this while going out the side and like turning while continuing to do it. I do this until I get up to his lair, then go for piece control, but he slips out, which leads me into the next retake. I do another form of a side jump here where I place a ramp behind me as soon as I land. This also blocks the angle from above, but I immediately go into cone flips, which is one of the most important things to learn in the game. And I finished it off with that sharp double-edit down move that we talked about earlier. So we did a lot of stuff there. Don't worry, I'm gonna make it simple. Let's start out by learning the sway retake. Plain and simple, how it works is you swing walls above you and then place a ramp above you and below you. Then you can edit through whatever wall you want and do it all over again. But the way I used it in the clip was after I would edit through, I turned to the right and then swung the walls above me and behind me. And I kept on doing those 90-degree turns until I was facing the enemy. But the way I recommend practicing this retake if you're new to it is first get down the normal way of just swinging walls above you with ramps on top, then get it down by putting the walls on the left instead of the right, and then start practicing practicing changing directions with it. Keep on trying different stuff until you're really comfortable doing it in all scenarios. The second thing I did in the fight was this side jump where I swing walls on my same layer and then land with a ramp behind me. Just like with high walls, it's good to practice being able to build walls on your layer, because imagine there's somebody right here, just like I'm doing to this bot. I swung the walls and then I got that wall on him and I can piece control through it. But the reason I placed the ramp behind me when I landed was just to block my top. He had an angle from above, so blocking behind me there was really important. And the final part of this fight, probably my favorite, is cone flipping. If you're new to doing cone flips, start out by just doing the simplest form, where you flip a cone up, catch it before it breaks by placing a wall above you, and then jump by resetting the cone and then flipping the cone. My reset bind is my right mouse button, which makes it really easy to do this. All I gotta do is press the edit key, press the reset key, and then confirm a new edit. Every single time you flip the cone up and place that wall, you should also place another cone on top. That way when you jump up and flip your cone and land on it, you'll be protected from above already. Once you get that first form of cone flips down, you can practice doing the way I did it in the clip, where every single time I jump up on the cone, I place walls above me through the other cone. Now, why do you do this? It's so that you can get piece control on the opponent above you. If you place those walls before ever even flipping your cone up, you'll get them sooner, and if the opponent's on that layer, you can edit through and pump them. And it also adds extra protection to your cone flips. Let's check out fight number 4. We're going to be focusing on one thing in particular in this fight, and that is right here. That little jump up play through the wall and cone is something I've been trying to get down for a long time, and this is the best way to do it. So let's say I'm tunneling like this. I'm placing cones and walls to my sides and stuff, and I want to jump up a layer really quickly. Maybe there's an opportunity to piece control someone. I place the walls before even beginning to jump, and then I can flip the cone up and edit the wall while jumping, all in one motion. Getting that down can give you some really good opportunities to piece control someone a layer up from you. A lot of pros even do this while triple editing, which is just crazy. It's actually so difficult. But that jump up play is a really useful skill to have, so I definitely recommend practicing it. Maybe go into the free build with bots section of this map, get one layer underneath the bot, and practice jumping up through the cone and piece control the bot, like I'm doing here. Now, this is the final fight we're gonna be checking out today. And if you're not doing this in your game in 2023, you gotta start doing it. Anytime you turn around to ramp in another direction, you should extend the ramp further like I do here and place a high wall. That way, if the enemy gets stuck under your ramp, just like in this fight, you can box your opponent and take a peek shot. So I'll give you 2 ways you can practice this in your game. One, you can practice turning around after doing a side jump, just like I'm doing in this clip. And then when you jump to ramp up in that direction, extend the ramp further and place that top wall. I'm telling you, do this on repeat until it's instinct for you. I never even think about doing it anymore. It's just my first reflex. But to practice it even more, and this is super satisfying, you can practice editing out the side and then like flipping your ramp and continuing forward. I do this all the time in my free builds. Or if you want to do what I did in the clip, you can edit out the side and then flip the ramp backwards, just like I do here. That's one way to practice it off a side jump. Another way is just simply practice doing a 180, where you're ramping up and you turn to ramp in the other direction. Same thing applies, just extend that ramp and place the high wall, and then you can practice doing whatever you want after that. Editing out the side, flipping the ramp, whatever you want to do. Now, this is one of my more advanced videos recently. Let me know in the comments if it was too advanced or too easy, or other things you want to see me make in the future. Don't forget to check out the maps down below in the description, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.